Greetings, my lovelies. Hi, it's Emmy. Welcome back to another military ration tasting. Today I'll be eating another Canadian ration, and it is an IMP, or individual meal pack. This is the second time I've had a Canadian ration. If you missed the first episode, I shall put the link down below. So this ration was sent to me by viewer Paul. Paul, thank you so much for sending this to me. Military rations are actually really difficult to get a hold of, so I really appreciate you sending this to me, and I can't wait to tuck into it. If you're interested in seeing more of these combat ration tastings, I shall put the playlist down below. Oh, and if you like them, be sure to subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So this IMP is menu number 17, lamb and vegetable stew. Oh, immediately I like it because it includes a candy bar, but let's see what else is in here. This is great. All right. The American rations contain an accessory pack, I've been told. I've been calling it a sundries pack. This one, all the little bits are loose, which is nice, less plastic, right? Here's the entree, some salt-free seasoning, great. This is a wet towelette, a toothpick to clean out your teeth, great. It's good to have good dental hygiene when you're out in the field. Glacé sports, oh, so this is a beverage. Vanilla coffee, another bag of pain, or French for bread. We have some matches, some gum, a Snickers bar that's almond, peanut butter, some hot sauce, a nice generous paper towel, a long spoon, a mint, another sports drink, and a beverage bag, and a raspberry applesauce. Nice, this is gonna be a good meal. So unlike the American MREs, which contain a self-heating unit, this one you actually have to boil in a bag. Here it is. It's made by the Warnick Company. Let me drop this in there. And place that back on the stove and cook that for 5 minutes. So while the entree is heating up, let's taste something else. I'm gonna make the little vanilla Nescafe. Add that to my mug. Ooh, look at that instant froth. Let's give that a taste. Cheers. I'm impressed with the nice kind of creamy top on there. It tastes a little bit of coffee, mostly vanilla, and kind of reminiscent of instant hot chocolate, even though there's no chocolate in it, because it has that dried milk flavor. Especially after a long day in cold weather, I think this would be excellent. Next, let's try a little bit of bread. Pop that open. Pretty tight crumb. Feels a little bit dry. It smells yeasty. It includes some peanut butter, so let's have some of that. I'm gonna knead that up a little bit so we can reincorporate any oils that have separated. Creamy style peanut butter. And that's just like regular old creamy peanut butter on some bread that's a little bit dry. When you buy a loaf of bread and it comes sliced, you know the two ends that no one ever wants to eat? That's what this bread is like. It's got kind of that crust on the outside. Besides being a little bit dry, it's really not too bad. And the peanut butter is just ordinary, plain peanut butter. So yeah, I think this would be actually a great little snack, especially when you need some energy. Let's go ahead and make the beverage drink. It says to add the beverage powder in first, add the water, and then fill to the line. So this bag is actually gusseted, so we can actually stand it up. I'm happy to see that it's colorless. That's nice. And we're gonna add the water to this level right there. Whoa. I spoke too soon. Look at that color. Oh my gosh. Let's get some of that air out of there. Seal it up, and I shall seal it up tightly this time. Shake that up. Wow, that color is alarming. Yep, it just tastes like fruit punch. It's actually nice and tangy and very syrupy and sweet and full of artificial flavor. Actually quite quenching and reminds me of being in preschool. While this tastes like Kool-Aid, the package does say that it's a sports drink, so I imagine there's some electrolytes in there for good rehydration. So yeah, cheers. So I'm back with the entree. Here it is, super hot. Let's pour that in there. And let me use the military issued spoon. Look at the chunks of meat in there. Looks like potatoes, carrots, peas. While the self-heating units do get the entrees warm, I feel like boiling them really gets them thoroughly piping hot. I've also been told by many commenters that oftentimes these are just eaten cold, so the whole heating element thing is sort of superfluous. All right, let's give this a taste. Itadakimasu. No, it's pretty good. And it tastes just like a beef stew, if you can imagine like a dinty moor or like one of those canned stews. Although this does not have a tinned flavor, it does taste quite beefy with a slight kind of gamey finish at the very end, but delicious in my book. The meat is very well cooked and kind of just falls apart in your mouth, but it is a little bit stringy. I also like the fact that this is not overly salty. So let's have a little bite on bread. I'm also curious about this hot sauce. There's no label on it. It's not orange in color, actually. It's kind of a yellow color. All right, here we go. And like always, hot sauce seems to improve everything. This hot sauce is nice and vinegared and nice and tangy and not very spicy, but adds a little bit of zing and a nice little bit of variation to this meal. So the hot sauce is nice. Let's try a little bit of Mrs. Dash. This is salt-free, which is great. Take a little bit of that on there. This is a really great idea. It doesn't add any salt, but again, like the hot sauce, it gives it a little bit more pep, kind of a little bit citrusy and kind of black peppered, but not overly salty. Great. Let's try the best part of the meal, this. And this is a Snickers bar, and it's an almond one. I love that this is an actual full-size Snickers bar. So let's cut this so we can take a look at our almonds. As opposed to peanuts, there's some almonds in there. There's some nougat, caramel, and of course, milk chocolate. And I have to say, Snicker bars are one of my favorite candy bars, and I prefer the peanuts. The almonds are nice, but I really love the nutty, rich flavor of the peanuts as opposed to the almonds. This is still good, but peanuts are better. Let's check out the applesauce. So there's the applesauce. That's great. Just tastes like applesauce with a nice little touch of raspberry flavor in there. It doesn't taste overly sweetened, which I love, and it's actually quite tangy, and the raspberry flavor is great. Let's clean up with a wet nap. Open that up, clean up our fingers. I probably should have done this before I ate. And this actually reminds me of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like when I was a kid, they would give lemon fresh wet naps, and that's what this smells like. It's a little wintergreen mint. And that's not so surprising. It's like a Starbright mint or a candy cane, except it's wintergreen flavor. It's nice, but I actually prefer peppermint. I'm just a peppermint fiend. And lastly, we have this. Looks like this is gonna be cinnamon gum, right? And that's exactly like the MRE cinnamon gum. It's got a crunchy candy coating, and the inside is just regular cinnamon gum. Nice. Great way to finish a meal. So that's everything in this IMP or individual meal pack from Canada. Paul, thanks again for sending things to me. I really appreciate it. He also has a YouTube channel, and I'll put his information down below if you are curious. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to follow me on social media, subscribe, like this video, and yeah, share it with your peeps. And I shall see you in my next video. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Pretz. If you've never had pretz before, pretz is basically the savory version of poke. And they're Japanese snacks, and they are tomato flavored. So I recently